like I'm pointing over there as if that's where, like, when I'm part of the screen, I can't point at the screen. I can point at you, though. You smell. You're not supposed to be here. Anyway, welcome back to Build Showcase. Today, we are truly living up to the name of Build Showcase, because this isn't my build. This belongs to Tyler. 90% of it, right? 90% of it. So, the Cryo Cannon and the Wave Cooker are 100% what Tyler uses. This is his go-to Cryo Cannon build. It's a really standard Temp Shock build, but I've got no problem showing that off, especially considering I've kind of done it with the flamethrower already. But that was the gamma contamination version, which I still hold, but I still stand by. You can use this. You can. Doesn't mean it's good, but you can use it. This, however, I have used a little bit. It's quite strong. It's I'm a bastard, so I have a problem with builds that aren't good on every mission type. Although really, the only one that's like is a no-go is Industrial Sabotage. So it's probably the best, and maybe that's the reason why Industrial Sabotage gets the hate that it gets, is because it's the real kicker when it comes to eliminating build viability, right? You know, it reduces the number of universally applicable builds to a much smaller list, you know, maybe like 2 per class, really, if you want them all to be equally effective on every mission type. So there's going to be no Industrial Sabotages today. There might be an elimination. Obviously, I would say you're better off doing that with friends. I was going to say a team, but I'd say friends more so. You know, not even because we actually communicate this to each other, but usually when someone's using the Cryo Cannon on elimination, we kind of just mutually understand. Don't shoot the Dreadnought while it's being frozen, then unload when it is frozen. That equals big ammo efficiency. Or at least don't use any heat-based weapons against it while the driller's trying to freeze it, right? And obviously, I hope that people understand that the Cryo Cannon is better than the flamethrower for elimination, because you can freeze Dreadnoughts. You know, they do a similar amount of direct damage, but at least you can actually get the effect from the Cryo Cannon, and that effect, even if it lasts a short time, you can get the damage boost off of it. Obviously, the Sludge Pump is the best for elimination. We haven't got to that build yet. We will. Here it is, just an advanced preview. This is the Big Boy Destroyer, as I like to call it. They're going to be the little boy diaper, is what I'd like to call this. So like I said, the Cryo Cannon and Wave Cooker here are 100% Tyler's making. Lots of other parts as well. The fact that, well, I got deep pockets, which I'm actually surprised at how much I like deep pockets. He tried to tell me to use bigger mineral bag, to which I told him to fuck right off. Same with taking extra ammo here. Always take damage here. Just, especially if you're using the Cryo Cannon. I mean, come on, man. Satchels is not important. I think this is exactly how it was before, except he told me to take kill switch off just because he's an arsehole, so I'd say fuck off as well to that. So he uses neurotoxin grenades just because he wants to use them, but we know the impact nexus is the best thing here. You know, combined, it's the most powerful crowd clearing you could possibly imagine, pretty much. So I'm sure people know how this works by now. You know, you take either the flamethrower or the Cryo Cannon, and you take the Wave Cooker, you give it exothermic reactor, give it temperature amplifier, you take mega power supply, you've got a temp shock machine unlike the world has ever seen, basically. Let's go through it in a bit more detail. I was gonna, you know, bring him on, but I'm not gonna do that. I can't be bothered. I would rather just explain myself. But there's been a recent I guess epiphany on his part, not as much mine, is that this mod here, which supposedly adds magazine size, is the best pick in this tier because of the fact that you don't really need to increase your freezing power. It's already quite good, and cold radiance does pretty much all the work at close range anyway. As long as the thing you're trying to freeze is within range for cold radiance, the freezing power doesn't make any difference. So we go all ammo, that includes the overclock, but we go all ammo, we take fire rate, let's freeze things quicker, because that's how out of these two options, it's the only thing that helps us freeze things quicker. And of course, cold radiance as our main source of freeze power. But the reason we take large pressure chamber, this is how you ensure that you can freeze large targets without ever losing pressure, multiple large targets in a row, specifically the really big ones. So I am going to use this on an elimination because I want to see that if it works. So that's the cryo cannon. I hope people understand. It's a very standard cryo cannon build. I believe the cryo cannon is valid in only one other way, and that's Ice Spear. But even then, Ice Spear doesn't change the base weapon at all. It just adds Ice Spear, basically. So, and it's not necessarily my opinion, but this is going into the assumption that improved thermal efficiency is in fact better than tuned cooler for freezing enemies. Which I'm not actually the one saying that. I mean, I did just say it, but Tyler said it. Oh, it's him, not me. Send your complaints to him. I don't. Go away. Right. Wave cooker. Ammo, big ammo, because we've got mega power supply and we've got ammo. Fire rate. Don't know why. Temp amplifier. You should know why. Wide lens add-on because it doesn't actually matter really, right? Because wide lens add-on usually just results in you overheating quicker. But because of the way this wave cooker is built, we're going to have a lot of spare ammo. Fortunately, even though it's a lower number, fortunately you have a lot more ammo on the wave cooker, a lot more functional ammo on the wave cooker than you do on the cryo cannon, which means you actually have ammo to spare to pick off the occasional grunt or terror or swarmers, tiny enemies, any tiny enemies. And wide lens add-on helps with tiny enemies, I suppose. But that's really it. If you're not facing tiny enemies, you should just use it normally, like switch off wide lens add-on if you have it activated, and use it to pick off grunts or Terror spawn if that's what you want to do with it. And then of course, Temp reactor. This is a temp shock thing. I can't explain exactly how it works. Just know that it's very good at temp shocking, lots of things at once, basically. And these two things together can even spread the cold around and temp shock things without actually having to use the cryo cannon itself, which is pretty nuts. Serrated edge because we're just doubling down on damage because I believe you deal more damage. You actually don't. You don't deal more damage to frozen enemies from this. Doesn't matter. Perks I talked about. Veteran Depositor, not Vampire is obvious, right? Veteran Depositor was not. It's not what I would necessarily choose, but I've got nothing against it. Got nothing particular to do with this build, I suppose. It's not the kind of build where I would envisage damage resistances being the most important thing. Then again, you probably don't need resupply either. Maybe Sweet Tooth. Deep Pockets is not my idea either. Let's just get rid of it. No. But thing is, I was test running this build yesterday. You might have seen that. But the thing that I was most surprised by was that I didn't hate the fact that I had deep pockets. The ability to have more than half a resupply in your inventory, to deposit more than half a resupply's worth of nitro at one time, is actually really nice. It means you have to leave less nitro behind. It means there's less nitro left behind and more deposited. That's really what it's for. My estimation. Obviously, it'll be useful in mine expeditions, well, I suppose. But really, it's about nitro, and it's about the fact that you can. I think it's not that you have to make less trips, is it? Because you still have to make 2 trips at least, I guess. Especially, that's more so if you're on a point extraction or something, or a refinery. You have to make 2 trips to get all the nitro you need. But still, I was surprised that I found it useful, and I've kind of explained everything else. So I don't think I need to go through it. So I think we should just jump right into the missions. Now I've currently got a basic. Salvage op selected. I'd like something basic, but with a decent warning would be nice. Not that, because actually, maybe that's Jesus Christ. Maybe this is more what I want than I realise. If this goes sideways, I blame you.
Mission locked in. Powering up the drop pod.
I wonder if I can make a living
look at that.
trading. Would
Wow.
miss the excitement of spelunking, though.
What the hell is he saying? Whatever. Anyway. I don't know which one. I don't have a sore throat or anything. Just I can always taste blood. Normal. I would skip to the mission here, but I did want to say something, which is that, and I'll definitely relay this to Tyler as soon as possible, it's that I got confirmation on the Sabata rework. Not apparently, the confirmation is basically going to be it is happening and it is going to be a thing similar to the GK2 level of changes. And I got that because on Reddit, someone was asking for that. I guess asking, falling on deaf ears really, because they're not not that they're not heard. It's just that they're not going to make a difference. Just one guy making a suggestion, but he was basically saying, can the Tabata get a buff, basically? And I told him that they are doing that in season 4. And then Ghost Ship Games Anders on Reddit replied to me, and he said, "Max, keep an eye out." There you go. And that's something. You don't think competitive leads die when you're immediately after being frozen. I couldn't say for Curtin. Also, that hole goes where. Right, sorry. It was still in my head that this was a salvage op because obviously it was. That was what I had selected before changing it, but obviously I changed it.
If we discover a new mineral, you think we get to name it?
So maybe I should talk briefly about the cryo cannon. Maybe, because I feel like some people might know that I am not a fan of it. It's not. The Sabata is my least favourite Dreadnought weapon, but the cryo cannon is not far behind. The cryo cannon is one of my least favourite weapons. I do think it's better than my actual least favourites, though. But I also don't find it particularly fun. I like it when a teammate has cryo cannon. Certainly. Now, I was considering jumping into a team game of elimination. But I am not doing that, I guess. Anyway, so maybe I won't have to skip anything because there's a Dreadnought right here. Hello, sir. Now, obviously, if it's a hive guard, it's probably going to have some issues getting through here because he's an idiot. So I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure I'm not getting ambushed. That's a single swarmer. Or more than one swarmer. Let's go. Oh, there they are. Okay, they're coming from the south. Maybe I should find that brood next. Lots of red sugar in there. Good. Alright, I heard that. There is an ambush coming. Oh, here they are. Right, not particularly well played. Obviously, I killed a lot of shit, obviously. Could have played that better though. This isn't my forte, basically. Well, that's all I'm saying, I mean, I would agree with someone who said that at my level and how much I talk about the game, I should be good with pretty much everything. I definitely agree with that. I'm not as good with everything as I am with other things, I can still play with most. I can play with all the weapons, but not any given build. Some builds are just bad. The sooner you accept that, the sooner we can have good things. So we've got a breeder and shit. Breeder's is dead. Breeder's next. And that. I'm having this weird thing where it just feels like the wave cook is doing more damage than normal. In general, I don't know what that is. Also, this is the thing. I don't mind veteran depositor, but for some reason I find myself wanting Sweet Tooth on Driller.
Flares are
It just
recharging.
seems to be a thing with me, and I think I know why. I think it's because of the close range thing. You do end up taking.
Sorry, little one.
Not that your survivability is necessarily lower, but you take more. I feel like you take more hits as Driller. But obviously, it's easier for him to recover. Well, usually.
Never felt better.
Anyway, now that all that shit's done. Yeah. I've got. No, it's just doing this.
In the ass.
I can't say I'm particularly happy about that, but they'll, you know. How quick can I actually free the last one? Quick enough to temp shock it. Okay. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to freeze this guy though. No. Oh, different. So I really don't think you can do this to the other Dreadnoughts, but at least I know now you can temp shock wins.
It's about to go boom.
Makes sense they are individually the least bulky, which I guess translates to them having the slowest cooling rates as well. Yes.
What's this?
That's going to equal a heal. Yeah.
Need to get my pickaxe sharpened when we get back. Bosco! Lloyd!
Okay. Right, where did they come from? Yeah, over here. Good. Wait, nope, this is the wrong way. Highly. That was just an open tunnel. No, this isn't the right way either. Come on. Hey man, where you going? Maybe I should just axe him first, because clearly.
Explosives fire!
That's what you want to see. That's the ideal. It's the goal. Being a coward, come down and fight. Beat you. Like a coward. There you are. Okay, that wasn't so bad, you know. Dreadnought fight, you know, these missions give you enough ammo where you can use, like, definitely more than half your ammo on Dreadnought fight, and that's none. So I think that went quite well. I do want to check out where they came from, though, or what would, like, their side of the cave. Sounds like an ambush. Oh. I'd really only recommend actually using the way quicker direct damage for grunts and tiny enemies, to be honest. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I might need some ammo while I'm in that cave, but I don't want to put it over there because that's just doesn't make much sense. So I'm going to bring a resupply down here.
Time to restock! Clip
or when something's on that low health, because like, you know, wave cooker, infinite range, big ammo pool. If you just want to, if there's like an enemy that's far away from you, some like last sliver of health, go for it. You know, that's a good use of your wave cooker ammo. Because this is actually one of those builds where you wave cooker has a lot of ammo, right? Obviously, mega power supply is that overclocked, but if you use a mega power supply for a boiler ray build, it's going to still be fairly ammo hungry. This is like the only wave cooker build that this and like gamma contamination maybe, where they're totally coolio with ammo. So ammo is not a big deal at all in this wave cooker build.
Fire!
Very nice. Also, web splitters. I actually forgot web splitters. Absolutely use some web splitters because it's so cheap. Maybe even acid splitters? Acid splitters. Maybe even acid splitters. Oh, it's actually skipped some combat. So, what about a lone Corona youngling? Well, that's the kind of thing that maybe an axe would be for. Ooh. Jesus. Although, there was more than one. I have a weird amount of trouble with Corona younglings, and it's kind of embarrassing. Alright, here's our litho phage. One of them contagious spikes.
Molly! Kill a Rockpox larva! Send the cleansing pod, please!
Stand by. The cleansing pod is on its
Do I
way.
need to show you cleansing? I definitely want to show fighting Rockpox enemies though, but that's mainly the wave cookers thing.
Cleansing
Freezing them's
equipment
not
on
going to
site.
make much of a difference
Rocklock
here.
time, team.
Especially because, you know, you might want to freeze them in place so that you can dance them, but you can actually move around. Like a Praetorian, you might want to freeze a Rockpox Praetorian so you can easily move around it. But you know, you just end up temp shocking this build. Yeah, wave cooker hits multiple things at once and is very cheap. As in, you know, lots of ammo. You only ever need one bit of ammo to pop a blister, so
There's a recharging!
it's really good. Rockpox. Scary. Stop with cave leeches, please. Whoa. Hey. Okay, I can barely see anything because of the sun, not because of the game itself. Isn't it? You can easily destroy spitballer projectile as usual. And I always forget that they don't stop charging their shot if you freeze them. So that's another tip. One.
Explosive spike! I ordered a resupply!
Right, there we go. Better now I can actually see things.
Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
We gotta locate and destroy the food nexus or we will have glyphid spawns on our tail forever. Players can need an resupply pod is here. Everybody collect ammunition. Red sugar! I got one of the annoying bugs!
like I mentioned, is there much point freezing a... Well, I guess there is, because... Now, first of all, now I can test this, like, objectively. Come here, sir, please. Sir? I need you for an experiment. Right, he's not interested. Anyway, it seemed like the fact that it was frozen cancelled out the close range Rockpox spike. So, for those of you who don't know, when you destroy a Rockpox blister at very close range, chances are it will deal a lot of like infection to you. You know, like 75% of your infection meter. It seems like it caps it out by being frozen, but people also don't know that it caps at that from that source, right? From the close range spike. Obviously, if they're just infecting you normally, that will obviously go over the 75%. But if you don't do that, you can just kill them with your drill still. It's not particularly safe, but anyway, I need to really test this. Okay. Suddenly the cryo cannon actually got really good for lithophage outbreak. It's always nice when it's like that. Oh, it's actually good. I thought just didn't really make sense. I didn't think any of the drillers' primaries really worked on lithophage. I'll get to it particularly. Oh, there you go. Right, an oppressor. No, this is a different case. Okay. See that witness the melee damage makes axes amazing.
Oppress this! Foaming up the area!
Now, I think I've probably said this before, but I would love to see in the community, like, just your guys' builds. See if I would be interested in trying them out. I'm more likely to try them out on stream, because that's more free reign. As in, Showcase isn't necessarily something that I don't know is good. I do know that this is good. It's just not necessarily one of my builds. Very different. But I still want to know what I'm using is worth recommending to some degree.
A celebratory decontamination process awaits you back on the space rig.
Die! Bleed down! Let's
Lizzie Dreadnought. Let's see if I can temp chop this one.
Explosive!
No. I don't think it's gonna happen. What if I get him real close? Okay. Doesn't seem to be possible. If I shoot the floor? No. It really doesn't want to do it. It's interesting. Obviously, we still have the ammo to deal with this situation, but it's a bit disappointing. You definitely can. Obviously, you know, Sentinels can be used as well. Obviously, we found out we can temp shot twins, and it'll definitely do this to Sentinel. And obviously, in a team scenario. Oh, shit. Okay. So there's something going on here, because you might have noticed that first time I temp shocked one of the twins, I've had thrown an impact axe beforehand, and that seemed to consistently work. Is that a thing? I wouldn't expect it to be a thing, but it seems to be a maybe. It seems like it might be a thing. Oh, okay, okay. do it. You can temp block them. You can temp block dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts? You can temp shock dreadnoughts. This is actually pretty big for me. Molly, fuck you. $55 fire ammo. Okay, so that was about. I ended up on 11, but I think it's probably about 13 is actually the truth. So that's 55 down to 13, which is 40, about 42. I'd say about 45 ammo you can freeze a dreadnought. That's actually brilliant.
That thing ate bullets like
Something really neat about this. I'm actually learning shit about the game, which is kind of not with respect from Build Showcase, but I don't think that's a problem, really. I think this is cool. It's cool as fuck.
Take care of this. Yeah.
Hey, fellas. Okay. That almost froze the Victorian.
Well done. Secondary objective completed.
That was... But those 2 seconds there, that's basically this build at its best. It's, well, kind of. Because it would be just as... The point is that it would be just as good in even bigger hordes, like much bigger hordes. It would be just as effective. But that's realistically its best. Doesn't mean it's... Like, you can use it in worse situations and still have just exactly the same result.
Vacuum here. Applying lithofoam on the Rockpox boils.
Oh, right, maybe I should have kept that on. That worked, basically. Doing the Rockpox from up there. Went off without a hitch. Usually what I would recommend if you want to stay 100% safe while dealing with Rockpox, and on solo, is in the solo tip. Actually call the pod down, and then command Bozco to do something else, so just light up a wall or something. Then lay down all the foam. Then have you and Bozco clean it up instantaneously, pretty much. Then you won't have anything spawn while you're cleaning. Things will still spawn, but you'll probably have the cleaning done by the time you need to, you know, they're like about to attack you. Not the guys that guard the contagion spikes are really a problem. Rockpox hordes can be dangerous, but just the guys who hang around, not so much.
Meet your maker, Craig.
Love the wave cooker. It's weird because
Come here.
the day of recording this is actually the day this is going up, which hasn't been the case for the last few videos we've recorded. You know, today is the Tuesday that you're watching this, or that this was released. The day before this, the Monday before, we recorded this Saturday's video, which is evaluating the driller secondaries.
Where
A bit
is
weird
the dead?
thinking about what we said and whatnot, but you know, it came through that we have a lot of love for the wave cooker, and it was surprisingly probably the healthiest one. Not that the EPC is actually pretty healthy, it just has one really poor aspect, which is the base charge shots are really bad. It's weird too, because I went into that having a rough idea of where I thought everything was going to be rated. So I thought it's probably going to be a shorter one, right? You know, compared to the 2.5 hours that was the primaries. The Dreadnought secondaries is the second longest
That's all you got,
episode so
you
far.
slippery shit.
At 2 hours. I don't know if there's much point in shooting. It's not gonna, just gonna be a waste of ammo. I guess that's what Snowball's for. I don't know if it makes Snowball worth using. Maybe that range mod is okay. Obviously, because we've got ammo from our overclock, and it's also it's not taking the place of the bigger ammo modification. You know, it's taking the place of the one that had 75, not the one that has 150. So maybe there's a case for it. I think it's only 5 meters. I think that range mod would definitely be worth using if it was 10 meters. You know, actually, give me a second. Cryo cannon, overclocked ejection turbine, plus 5 meter cold reach. Okay, plus 5 meters. But still, because of things that you might want to take out from a range like spitballers or breeders or menaces. Don't know why I did that. I mean, as in it was a pure accident. But yeah, I'm just thinking maybe there is a case for it. You know, for taking that range mod, even though it does sacrifice ammo. You know, this clean, I said it helps because it adds ammo, but it's only 25. But that means you're only losing 50 of the total ammo. Which means it would be at 675 base, which isn't terrible. Wait, is that correct? Let's see. I'll have a look when we get back.
Mining is hard work. Good thing we're dwarves.
Yeah, the reason I kept switching to my drills is because it's a thing I picked up on, and I do it very often now. You can block their projectiles with your drills, which I actually explained it earlier. Basically, if you're quick enough, you're pretty much invulnerable to spitballers. You just whip out your drills when they're about to shoot. Make sure you're facing it.
Stay by my side, boss.
Obviously, you have to use the drills, you know. Can't just stand there with them like a lemon.
Glad I ain't the one to sort this stuff. Ready to blow! One down!
Wow. So, basically wondering what's going on here, why I'm like, you know, happily blowing up the ground, because I'm not fighting this Dreadnought in this room. So here's a general elimination tip.
Molly!
You know, I think in normal games it's more reasonable to sort of just go with the flow. In elimination, pick where you're going to fight. Make sure it's a good space to fight. The entire point of the mission. So it's not a waste of time.
Feel much better now.
You're going to waste your time playing around really awkward terrain if you try and fight it in a room like that. That's why the spawn room is laid out the way it is. It's perfect for fighting.
That hit the spot.
You can use it if you need to. Anyway, that's like the entire cave mapped out pretty much. I doubt there's anything around here. You know, check every corner, you never know, there could be an error cube or a bit of gem embedded in the walls, but... or a prospector that somehow eluded all detection. But, you know... I'm definitely more thorough than you realistically need to be.
This is fun!
Right. Okay, it's Hive Guard 2, which means it's going to be a pain in the ass for it to get back to spawn room, because that is where I'm going to fight it, but still worth it. Not worth fighting in there. So, I'll see you when it actually finds its way over here. Right, well, the Sentinels are here. Oh, at least one of them.
Flares ain't ready!
I'm trying to get these two units to tell them.
Bloody
See.
disgusting
Come on, son.
stuff this is.
Now it's going to take it. Oh, no. Not as slow as I thought you would be.
Explosives, boys!
Let's see if we've got some shots. That's one. Are you? And two. Successful. Might have something to do with the snow path, the ice path that you know around. Maybe. They do inflict cold, so it's I like the explanation. So shooting at an incline, or at a decline towards the Dreadnought is a good way to do it. Yes.
Like stepping on a slug. Let's order one. It's getting into our nooks and crannies.
What a bitch!
I'm taking some of the ammo.
Wow.
Explosives, fine. Out of ammo.
Got what we came for. All your
So,
objectives are completed.
okay, maybe what I proved there is it's not the most consistent thing in the world, but it's consistent enough to where it might be worth doing, especially if you're on solo, right? Because if you're playing with your mates or any team, temp shocking it will just reduce their window to deal massive damage, right?
Ammo taken.
But you know, because the window is so short, you're probably not going to have enough time to temp shock it, as well as letting them deal the damage. So it's probably just best to let them do it. And if obviously you're on your own, you know. I don't mean solo. If you're like a situation you're on your own, maybe you're cut off from the team, maybe you're in a clutch scenario.
Departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Perfectly valid. I just think it's really cool that we can temp shock Dreadnoughts. What was the other thing I found out? I swear there was something else that I realised from this. Oh yeah, the Rockpox thing. Look at this, nice, neat, reach straight to the drop pod. That's exactly what we want. Wouldn't that be nice every time? I wish ice paths were an actual thing. Instead of having a pointless direct damage upgrade and overclock, we could have had ice path stuff. Oh, that's a piece of crunch. It's still my only problem with these kind of builds. Yeah, it's good that you can the cryo cannon I mean. It's good that you can insta kill them by materials by freezing them, but you can't stop them in any way. Chances are they'll get a time to attack you. Obviously, you can dodge, but
Good work.
Trijal's the easiest one because you can just move forward while shooting at the cryo cannon, and you'll dodge the Trijal projectiles. Obviously, a lot of good cryo cannon build. For example, you could be using heavy hitter EPC with plasma burn. That's perfectly valid, and that's good at killing Mactera quite quickly. Could maybe be using Sparta. Impact Axe is also very valid. They will, as long as you hit them in the belly, they'll insta kill Mactera spawn and Trijals. Grundles are definitely worth using the cryo cannon on though, because obviously cryo cannon doesn't give a shit about armor. So anyway, that was an awesome showcase that I wasn't expecting. You know, because of the Dreadnought thing, I wasn't expecting it to be outright good. And obviously we had that Rockpox thing too. So what we're going to do now, see, that's Temp XP elimination. But I was originally going to do, yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. The other presence problem there, as this just isn't for robots. Although now industrial sabotage is a problem because you can't do anything to the caretaker with this build, right? But maybe there's still room. Now what I'm weighing up is whether or not, maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe I do want more Rockpox. Maybe. Or maybe I want big caves with double XP. I'm not sure. So the Rockpox doesn't inherently represent a hazard. And I've kind of proven that this works against them. Oh, I think it's going to be this one. I'll do a grab a box of gold. Make sure streamer mode is on. See?
Now that is real music.
That's real music, yeah.
Pots of gold, Lloyd.
Anyway, so what's that thing I was going to do? Range. And look at range. Take that. Yeah, 675 ammo. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna do it. You know, the ammo portion is gonna be like even like Ranger, because I already explained how I feel like the Wave Cooker has more functional ammo than the Wave Cooker than the Cryo Cannon does in this build. I've just sort of made it even worse, but you know, I'm pretty autistic about making things like stay in equilibrium basically. So I'm probably just gonna end up using the Wave Cooker more. Compensate. Also, obviously this is build showcase, but I've showcased that it's good. This won't change how it functions. It's just going to reduce my ammo capacity. So I think this is a fair thing to test without actually compromising the build. You know, obviously any ammo, if there's any kind of ammo shortcoming, then you know to just change it to that was originally.
This is a salvage mission. A previous crew lost their mini mules, their drop pod, and their lives.
Oh, this is a big starting room because
Find and repair the lost mules,
there's a
get the
curse
drop
like
pod
grinder, which is not bad at all.
to base. Expect heavy
Especially if we get acid splitters. I was about to say, as long as we don't get acid splitters, because you know they're going to be the furthest away, which is bad for Driller. And I realised we took the range mod. So honestly, I'm hoping we get acid splitters, and if I don't, I'm going to cry. So maybe I've explained this before. We've definitely talked about this before, but you know, salvage operation tip: digging up legs has a chance to spawn ambushes. Preparing a meal will always spawn an ambush. So I think would have been one of the legs. Shit. What is wrong with me? I just have this tendency to just play things completely wrong, even though I know exactly how to handle the situation. you want?
Should have left my nose on the bloody spice ring.
Well, see, we don't want to be putting a deliberate amount of distance between us and the enemies, because if we just distance ourselves for no good reason, then we're sacrificing the freezing power that cold radiance provides, which is the most freezing power, I'm pretty sure. Or is it equal to 6? It might be equal to 6 or something, 6 freezing power. But it's still not, you know, you don't really want to lose it. So I'm not going to deliberately distance myself, especially because we have less ammo because of taking that range mark.
Well done. The mule is working again.
So, I'm right, that should spawn an amp. Well, I think it at least has a higher chance of doing it than just the legs.
Be ready for anything.
6. 6. That could be not the Taurians. Acid splitters.
Local wildlife. Get as many samples as you can from the infected beasties. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Well, I'm pretty sure they can be. It also freeze very easily. Can I hit that? I'm sure I can. This is going swimmingly. This build might be overpowered. That guy throws quicker than normal because I'm shooting straight at him and the ground up behind him, because I think the ice path actually did a lot of work there, freezing him way quicker. Same thing happened with that guy.
Help me with the minerals here.
Easy.
There are multiple meteor
That was
fragments
so
headed
cool,
your
the way that
way.
coincided with the
Mark
meteorite like
as
sound.
accurately as possible.
That's sick.
Come on, I need
I don't know if I can temp shot the
Core
meteor.
infuser active.
These rocks seriously need to invest in something that Ooh. Wait, what is that? It's stone.
Rock and stone. Oh, I'm not going to bore you with this. Sorry. I will bore you with this though. The dudes.
This one's for Carl. He's back.
I'm liking this range mod. I'm liking this build. Thank you, Tyler. Probably the only good build we're ever going to get from him. No offense.
Bosco, mine it.
Maybe just stop humming copyrighted music.
Come here. Don't waste your ammunition.
Daily boiler rate, nothing clears. Later it's like chocolates, quite like the way of cooking them. Oh, okay, there's a real meteorite. Oh, and it's going to be in here. Nice.
Alert! Meteor fragment headed your way. Clear the marked zone immediately.
Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want to be stuck without at least the possibility. I'm going to find some nitra before I do that meteorite. Ooh.
Molly, come here.
Look what fourth actual.
Support
Right,
fire.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carry on with the mission. I'm probably going to take a resupply at the drop pod and then return to the meteorite. But I don't want to drop a I don't want to drop a resupply over there. I still want to do it with a good amount of ammo.
I need the mule right here, right now.
Good amount of ammo to spare, I should say.
That will teach you.
Nothing wrong with just drilling in frozen Praetorian.
Gas but it's leaking.
Shit. Never Harry.
Be gone.
Me?
Shoot it.
I was actually about to pause and skip to the next bit of combat, but Christmas came early. Right, I do need to use these sacrifices.
Blow. Die, monsters.
Almost got that cave leech in there.
God is dead.
More enemies.
Coordinates transferred.
It seemed
Gotta
because of
check
the
my
leg.
terrain scanner. For Carl! I'll never get the smell out of my arm.
What the hell?
Mule operational.
Speak about the movie review I did of John Wick
You're a
4.
good mule, Molly.
I was thinking I'm going to do that for every movie that I see at the cinemas, or every new movie that I see. Maybe. Cinemas, definitely. You know, I'm going to go to see Fast X soon, Fast and Furious 10. Which I'm really excited about. I enjoy it. Those movies are dumb as hell, but I do enjoy them. Then there's going to be Mission Impossible 7. Unbelievably excited about. I haven't seen any. I love those films, but I haven't seen any of them in cinemas before. This is going to be my first one. Then The Creator, I think, which is Gareth Edwards' new film, which looks incredible. I'd recommend checking out the trailer for that. Oh my god. And then Dune Part 2. There'll be all the films that I know I'm going to see in cinemas this year. And some stuff on. There'll be some stuff on Netflix as well, like Extraction 2 and Chris Hemsworth. It looks pretty great. Apparently, it's got a 21-minute one-up, as in one-shot sequence, which is ridiculous. I think that is the longest in history. Maybe I don't know. I can't actually say that for sure. I just don't know. But that's still ridiculous. That was ridiculous as well. Stop doing copyright music. Look everyone, it's the Glyphid Blister back. I keep forgetting about the new guys, like the Glyphid Stingtail and the other one. Because I've been thinking more about the Rockpox recently. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Now, this will be the last proper mission of the video. There's always 2. But, just for shits and giggles, I want to try Rival Presence. If we can't do that, then I'll do Industrial Sabotage. The point being that I don't need to actually do it. I just want to see how it works against robots themselves, like patrol bots and turrets and stuff. I know it'll be good against Shredders because this thing is what it does. Whoa. I think we run. We should leave. Run. Oh. Oh, dear.
Go fetch. I popped a loot bomb. Let's get the minerals.
Alright, considering my ammo situation with the wavebook, I'm going to head to Dropboard recording heavy supply. It is the wavebook that's running out of ammo first. Even though I didn't take all the ammo mods I could on the ice cannon. Fire cannon.
I killed the loot bug, and I'm not so proud about it. Grabbing ammo.
Alright, so there was a shell back party down here. Gonna hit me just once, maybe twice. What a bitch. Give me some sugar.
Ever mind this. Feeling much better now. Light for me, please. You want some more?
This build is crazy, man. I just realised that alongside the mission objectives of a salvage job and the meteorite. It's going to be the ultimate showcase of the defensive capabilities of this build. Seriously though, I'm actually in love with this build. Amazing. So far, it's good for literally everything except the caretaker.
I've got a bad feeling about
Because I know it works against Betsy's. It's actually broken against, like literally broken against Betsy's. It doesn't even display that it's frozen. Just shoot it a little bit with the cryo cannon and just spam the wave quicker into it, she'll die. Amazing, ridiculous. Someone needs to do something about this. I don't call for things to be nerfed, and I'm not going to. But just know that this is crazy. I saw someone say, "Oh, maybe they should nerf Hellfire because all the other all the others like aren't like better than all the others." It's like, no, don't nerf Hellfire. Buff the other ones. Also, ultramagnetic coils is more than good enough.
Goodbye, space lobster.
Okay. Shut up, Yoshi. Well, I've got 675 max ammo. Half of that is 333 point... No, 337.5. Did you get that down to 336? Now I can resupply. Because that's how my brain works. Then I can go do the meteorite. Which means I need to wait for enemies to shut up. Not that I'm going to make you wait with me. We're rich. Now, if you didn't have... Here's an awesome tip. You don't have to take Bosco with you. Look at the Bosco terminal, bottom left, there's a toggle. And make sure you can have it so Bosco doesn't come with you, and therefore all the lines that you say will be like the multiplayer lines, instead of the Bosco lines. Because, in solo...
Oi! Carry support here!
Don't get we're rich. Get a Bosco line.
Wonder what slop they're serving in it.
We have our prey, the Bolt Detonator. I think. Oh no, it's just no. Oh. Oh. Hi. This is awkward. One of the things maybe this doesn't excel at. I'm already on fairly low health. And we can freeze it from a distance, it's just going to take a fair bit of ammo. And we took a bit of chain temp blocking there. Exactly what we want. Now the last thing I want to do is kill it right on top of my resupply, the uplink mod. That would be tragic. So I'm going to try and lead them away, get around them and take a resupply, and then go towards the meteorite. Maybe Bosco will kill them on the way, or I'll kill them at some point by turning around.
Getting more ammo. I needed that.
It's going to go down pretty soon. In fact, Bosco can stop it. I don't want to explode anywhere near the uplink module.
Bosco, come here.
Now you can do it. I'm just gonna command him. Where are you, big bastard? Jesus Christ.
Bosco, fight.
Spectacular! This might be the nicest placement of the rock crackers I've ever had.
Fight, please.
I mean, I've had them spawn right next to each other sometimes. I just mean that both in this extremely flat area.
Hello, and good.
Before.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. That hammer connected.
Never been so easy.
Jackhammer in place.
All rock crackers attached.
It's it. People might know about this, but people, I feel like maybe a lot of people have internalized what we've internalized is that Drilla's unique armor core upgrade, armor rig upgrade, I mean, which doesn't show here. Temperature insulation. You might think, oh, that, you know, it's the one that makes you resist fire. Like, oh, that's only good on magma core, right? Well, no, they actually made it better because of this. This is hot rocks. It deals fire damage to you. You take less fire damage. Now, not that these hot rocks are particularly dangerous, though.
Crackers online.
The Dreadnought Lacerator also deals fire damage because, you know, it does breathe fire.
Things about to go boom.
The equipment's under attack. Put those guns to use. You need to keep all rock crackers running. This is not currently
Definitely don't want to go
the case.
down.
Get on it.
Need to fix up.
Well, I don't quite like that. It'd be good if I could... You know, a perfect run would be beautiful.
All rock crackers are green. Let's keep them that way.
Can't reach him from there, can I? No. That would have been wishful thinking, actually.
Never felt better.
Good job.
Right, 4 play
Now
cards,
grab
so...
and deposit whatever was inside.
Alright, I'll meet you back at the drop pod. Okay, I made it back to the drop pod, but now I'm getting attacked. I suppose Code's going to kill these shockers, no surprise there, but I don't want to use... I don't really want to use any wave procurement right now. Wait, was that it?
All mules secure.
It wasn't an ambush, it was just the average dense bio zone. They just like shocker form.
The space rig. Set up the uplink.
Which is a thing. I haven't seen it written down, I haven't seen any data mined, information that proves this, but you get groups of neosite shockers in the dense bio zone more often than anywhere else. Because the dense bio zone is the neosite home. That's why we get the cave cruisers, the adult ones. Or I assume they're adults. How I sort of read it is that the cave cruisers are like adults that have outgrown the mind control of the breeders.
Explosives, boys! What's this?
holder.
It's overheated. Don't let him flank you.
See that down in the corner there? Disgusting. Gross. Infantile. Creature. Uninvited.
An extra miner has been assigned to your team.
Jesus Christ.
Rock and roll
Freeze him.
to the team. That's gonna cost you. Friendly fire isn't actually friendly.
This shithead.
Ready.
Look, I can freeze him in place. Hold on, I need to be looking at him. Oh my god, that's terrifying. I can just see you sliding around.
Hello.
I'm paused. I can just see you sliding around.
You're the one sliding around. I'm running around. I can't
I'm
jump,
staying
though.
completely still.
You slid off.
Where? I can see you sliding around, but I can see a flare that you threw just frozen in midair.
Unpause it. Whoa!
What a nerd. Alright,
Frozen like over here.
Ready to
Slid
kill
off.
some more crates.
I did the backrooms earlier, which is pretty fun.
oh,
And
what?
normally
Just
when
straight
you
up?
join someone that's not part of a game, you kind of fall through the map. But this time I was on like a plane where it was all like black ice, but not actually black ice. There was no floor, but you kept your momentum, and there was just dots like everywhere, and it was very, very weird. And I screen recorded a lot of it.
I am balls deep in a video. And
All right.
I'm gonna. Well, I mean, you know what this is. You know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Pilot, this might be the best build showcase we've ever done.
What, is gone so well, or is it the best build?
Well, I guess it means that. Oh shit!
The triangulation zone, or we will lose the connection.
It doesn't mean it's my favourite, but this is it is going absolutely amazingly. But there's a couple particular reasons. I actually started with something that I wouldn't suspected the build be actually good for, which was a elimination with lithophage outbreak. But I learned that number one, this is the big one. Dreadnoughts can be temperature shocked quite consistently. I need your shield.
All right.
And the freezing Rockpox enemies stopped the close range infection spike from happening, so you could just drill them without getting like touched.
Oh!
It's like holy shit. The cryo cannon just went up quite a lot for me, at least. And I've just been completely just obliterating everything. As in, you know, the only thing I haven't done is something with robots, and I was going to do that just for shits and giggles, because I know it can't do anything to the caretaker, obviously. But that's like it. Because I was thinking, you know, Corlock, sure, the heart you just use axes or satchels on, and it's good against the other stuff. Betsy, obviously, I know it absolutely destroys, but now I know it's not only obviously free. You know, out of the three primaries, the flamethrower is obviously the worst for elimination. But the cryo cannon just got better than I thought it was because you could do that. But it's also good for Rockpox. And it doesn't. You don't even need like damage on your drills either because it's just one hit for the
So
blisters.
realistically, then it's probably the best thing for Rockpox, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just
No,
the other two are just so
definitely.
bad.
Well, the Surge Pump's fine, but it's not really. It's not. I guess it's not actually better than the flamethrower. With volatile impact mixture, the normal shots can kill Rockpox stuff quite quickly. But you know, the wave cooker is like the Rockpox killer. anyway. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's necessarily needed. It's just really cool. I was just doing it. I was like, this is fucking sick. I actually feel like I'm learning shit because I was. I was like, oh my god. I don't think it would change anything about the ratings. Something that might change though, because an amendment I made after the second mission, after the first mission, I mean, this is the second mission. An amendment I made, which I think is absolutely fine to do, because the only thing it changes is ammo. Like, and obviously, if ammo ends up being a problem, then you can just change it back. I took the range mod.
Right.
And I'm not having an ammo problem, and it's been useful to be able to freeze things at longer ranges. Like, for example, I got a curse light infection, and it was specifically acid spitters. And I was able to which I was hoping for, so I could test the range. And it worked out. Basically, I recommend the fuck out of this. So, hats off to Tyler for making this possible.
Hooray me! I did it.
It's a really fucking simple, obvious build.
It's barely a build. It's literally just
no, it is though. They go together.
I
know, but they go together perfectly still. Honestly, I'm still using more rage cooker ammo. You know, that's how I sort of see it. It's like, it's not that I'm not. Obviously, I have less cryocannon ammo, but I'm still using more wave cooker ammo on average anyway. So, I don't specifically recommend the range, but that might be the version of it that I put on Carl and share.
Yeah.
But either way, fantastic. It's just that you don't
have any issues with freezing, right?
No.
Like you're using like essentially the same thing. So like yeah, no cold mods picked, no cold things.
Well, I mean, cold radiance is realistically one. It's also got like
but you literally added range, so like, and it's not going to be affecting that bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just you don't need more than 8.
No, you don't.
I don't at least 8 as well, though. Really, once it starts going down, you start noticing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think cold radiance. I don't know what it is. I think it's equal to 6. I think I'm not sure.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
But obviously, it's like adds on, and it's in just a sphere around you.
Yeah.
Fuel cells charging. Stay close to keep them operational. We're expecting an increase in hostiles.
But I was planning on doing either like a rival presence or industrial sabotage if I have to, just to see what it's like against the rival enemies. See if it's like it is usable against everything. Maybe.
But you can temperature shock the rivals.
Well, exactly. I didn't actually know if you could or not. I know you can, freeze control bots in quotes, but that's the thing. It's not the same. I wasn't sure.
I think they kind of made sure that it is. Like anything you can do to a frozen enemy, you can do to a. It still works. It's just not frozen. Like,
honestly,
still.
temperature shocking the Dreadnoughts though was funny as fuck, and it was just great. And it was all 3 of them. I wasn't sure at first. I thought, okay, maybe because I got the twins first, and I did it, and it's like, okay, maybe it's because they're like the lowest health, like that. Maybe that translates to them having the lowest, like warming rate as well. But no, you could do it to all of them, and I thought, maybe not the highest
Is
blood
it
though.
particularly strong?
Well, I came to the conclusion that it's worth, it's like, it's weird, isn't it? Because you kind of have enough axes to do it, and enough drill to do it if you want to use drills for reason. It's kind of weird. You just have so much you can do though. It's like you could if you wanted to, but you could use your axes. You could even just use your drills. Like, I think it's just cool that you can do it. But I did say maybe solo isn't the right thing to use it for, because it's just gonna. No, solo is the right thing to use it for. I mean, like in co-op, all you're gonna be doing really, even if it's not by much, is just reducing the window. Well, no, but also then again, I don't think I feel like maybe because of how quick they unfreeze anyway, maybe the window is exactly the same, and you're not actually unfreezing them quicker by temperature shocking them. But it might be a good thing to do anyway. Exactly.
But it's never enough time anyway. Like the amount of time it would take you to roll that dice a couple times, people have already done the damage they're gonna do.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So it might still be worth doing. But what I
Like, I've already got
realised,
like 1 or 2 lead sprays off.
what's actually been helping me
Either
is
way.
actually using the ice path. Like, because it does stuff. You know, and that might be what's keeping them frozen
I always
better
kinda wondered
to
if
allow
it
for
did.
to allow for temp shock. I think that's how I was temp shocking them. Was it didn't seem to happen when I just shot them straight on. I think that actually helps keep them frozen a bit longer, so you can actually or keep them more frozen, I guess. So temp shock.
Yeah, because if you were to like still be oh my what?
He wasn't even shooting this in direction.
What? Yeah, like if you were to keep shooting it, it would be frozen for longer. Not like permanently, but as long as you keep applying cold, I think it does keep it in there for now.
And the wave cooker's even. I explained how the wave cooker's even just good in general, like picking off grunts and spitters and stuff. And you've got so much ammo. Like, this is top tier shit, man.
I damn well expected you to satchel charge and leave me. I was entirely like come to terms with that.
Something I was going to say on the video anyway. Actually, I can say it. I was considering maybe I should do like deep dives to show these things off. Considering I skipped a combat anyway, and I realised no, because if there's like machine events or anything like that, I want to do those as well. I play normally. I just skip the boring parts, but like on the video.
So is it like every time it's like a swarm, you flip on the switch?
It's more like every time I'm just walking, I'll do it, basically. As in, it might stay on after the swarm if I'm just like mining, depositing. If I'm literally just traversing through the caves, it's over. It's frozen. But yeah, it's like, and even then, the video is still fairly long. There's a lot of it makes you realise how much combat there is. You know, you go into Deep Rock, think it's a mining game, and it is, but it's mining is a part of it, but it's still an FPS game.
It's really just how you fit mining into all the fighting, rather than. Well, it depends.
Right, this is perfect. I did also say that I wanted to just try this, and I wasn't necessarily going to try and really beat it, but maybe, baby, and magma core. They blend in.
Disappear into the surrounding.
So yeah, I'm going to keep that. I mean, there's the thing, the range thing, I put it on just to test it, but then I also said, like, it's not going to actually change the effectiveness. You know, it's only going to make it better anyway. It's just like, if I have an ammo problem, then you could, like, switch it back. But I didn't. So, I'm going to keep that on. So it's technically not your build.
No!
It's mine! I mean, obviously I use the impact axes as well, instead of neurotoxin, which helps a lot, for oppressors specifically. Because they take so much melee damage.
I'm using, and I wanted to use the neurotoxin grenade, even
Yeah.
though I didn't, because I forgot it.
It's fair. I would say it's fair, but it's the only grenade that I don't use in the game. The only grenade. Which
Very nice,
maybe
eh?
says something. I've got one with HEs, I've got at least one with lures. Got one with clusters. You know? These exist.
Are those the ones you rate lowest out?
I don't actually have any with sticky grenades right now.
Ooh, sticky grenades.
But that's because I
screaming.
That's because I just end up naturally changing them all to either lead bursters or incendiaries. That's out of compulsion. I get back and it's like, I wish I just change it.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm level 400 on the pass.
Shit me.
Yeah, baby. 400 for
188.
season 4. 400.
Don't do that to yourself.
Well, no, we'll just see if it's possible.
Let's roll.
I know you're not going to buy the drink.
No, it's just for jumping around.
Let's get this mission rolling. I'm ready.
Well, I just realised, obviously, Caretaker can't do shit. Nemesis? Did they change it so you can freeze Nemesis?
Did you not before?
Well, you couldn't freeze any of them before, right? Before season 3.
No, you could freeze them. It just didn't do anything.
Oh.
But I think that what they did when they changed them going into like season 3 was that they do then take the 3 times kinetic damage. Like they get the effect of frozen still.
Yeah.
But it's still not as good as a flamethrower
I think
or
you,
even the sludge.
I think you should be able to freeze them properly. Especially
I don't see
because,
why not.
you know, patrol bots are a movement people still find really annoying, and the turrets, if you couldn't freeze them, then it'd be funny if they just became a complete non-threat when you freeze them, because they can't move and they can't attack. I guess it's how it works normally. Oh, look at this guy just ruining everything.
We sent in a specialized heavy lifter, and we're expecting heavy resistance.
Is he actually going to do it though?
Armaments, but keep focused. It's about the goods.
The
Fuck's sake, man!
It was freaking me out. There was one in
Whoa!
the shield shooting me, and it was I was on edge. What were you doing?
Waiting for you to do it.
Just watching.
Well, yeah, I was expecting you to do it. Then I wouldn't have to do anything.
Why would you expect me to do it? It's honestly, genuinely, I think I've done that probably twice this season. Like I've not touched that machine in so fucking long.
Yeah, there's a posse.
Yeah, I am. I'm dead, Harry. I can see everything
Oh,
you
there's a
see.
prospector.
You seen Drilling in the Name
Oh,
Mods
sorry,
video
did-
recently? He did a video on Iron Wheel and basically telling people just to stop being stupid with it.
I didn't watch it.
It was him just basically saying, like, if you have Iron Wheel, don't use it immediately. Make sure
yeah.
not to use it at the same time as teammates.
So it's the really basic stuff that makes it good. I was expecting something revolutionary, you know.
No, is literally. I mean, he kind of pointed out how giga OP you are during that phase. So it's red sugar right there, Harry.
Yeah, but I'm retarded. Well, no, because basically I was thinking, is it at least going to be something I don't know, right? Because I don't use
No.
Iron Will that much, but yeah, I guess it is
No,
just
it's just
the basic
stats
thing
that
of
you
obviously
probably
don't use
say.
it straight away. Obviously.
Yeah, he got a clip, which well, he didn't get a clip. Miss Nofa's got a clip, which is like somebody quotes constantly. That's not the point. There was a clip of like an entire 4-man team all getting up with Iron Will as soon as they all went down, and they just stood together looking at each other, and they just all died because yeah. So yeah. And he pointed out like things that work well with it, like Vampire or Quick Revive, stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Alert! Multiple meteor fragments incoming.
So what's
This is
happening now
kinda
is
goofy, silly.
why I said that I wasn't like I don't have to beat it. Basically, I just wanted to see if it works against them. I'm gonna try and freeze the turret. Pilot, he's getting frozen. But it's taking fucking forever.
Yeah,
Way slower than the control bot.
I think they got hot, I guess.
But yeah, it makes sense.
I guess.
Why would
It
it
also
be
meant
hot?
things. Sure, they'd be hot, but then it makes you think that they would be more heat resistant. Then it's like if they're all constantly like fucking overheated or something, right?
But they're not overheating. They're clearly ventilated, and then you overheat them. And that's what they're trying to avoid by having their inbuilt ventilation. You just make it happen. I don't know. Look, I don't understand.
I don't think they did either. I really think they just made all their like logic up. They were like, neurotoxin attacks brains, so that shouldn't work. You know, like, yep, that makes sense. And they were like, corrosion should work, right? It would work on
Well,
metal.
the
Yeah,
neurotoxin
that
thing I do
works.
think is kind of dumb, but the truth is it only affects one broken overclock.
I think you know what
really.
they should have done. They should have pulled a RoboQuest, and Shock should have
Did you see that?
basically been the ice. You hit him with the axe.
That was lit.
Present. Like if you shock a robot, it should like stun them in place, and that's how you kind of deal with them.
Yeah, shock should
have
stun.
been a shout.
Shock should stun robots. That's a good idea.
Especially since like you would really have assumed that electric would be like one of the best shit against it, yet it does like what 10% bonus.
Yeah, obviously it's like it's one of
like
the it's one of the better
least
things.
bonus.
But yeah, I know it's not fire. Corrosion is... Alright, that's right. Corrosion is like the strongest one, though, in terms of the actual damage. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Corrosion against like metal and robots is usually a thing. Is it? Or is that just poor?
Corrosion
that's
is
like-
against like armor.
Yeah, corrosion versus armor, and armor is, you know, like robotic enemies are usually
Metal.
naturally armored. All right, so I proved that you can temp shock patrol bots.
Was it good though?
No, to be honest, I don't know why they didn't take much damage from it, much as I thought they would. Kind of gay.
Who would have thought? The cryo cannon is still the worst thing to use against robots.
Yep,
When you don't stick
which is the one big issue I
Myth-busted.
take. The main issue I take with balance. That suit should be available as an armor. The biohazard undersuit.
Especially when the shoulder is rockboxed.
Yeah. I want exactly that.
Just a small bit, or like,
Anyway, the build
be
showcase is over. This fucking rules. 10 out of 10 would use again, except on industrial sabotage and rival presence.
Yeah, which I think is the thing you would mention in a couple builds. That say really fuck around with that.
Not many of mine.
All right, not on mine.
But if a phage outbreak, hell yeah. Now this is something I've already said to them, but I got confirmation on the Sabata buffs from a dev
Oh,
to me. It's just
is on the Reddit.
yeah. So someone
Oh.
just made a Reddit post saying, "Can the Sabata be buffed?" I want to find it because it's the wording is quite important. Okay, apparently it's just trying to get me to get something about ads. Get out of here. Look at my notifications. Yeah, it's for some reason my okay. It isn't okay. The guy said Sabata the 120 need remake like Deep Core. What he said.
All right, legible.
And my response, obviously, it sounds grammatically incorrect, but I'm responding to the very last part of his post, which says, "I really hope Ghost Ship can give this weapon a second chance." Something, and I said they are in season 4. For some reason, my comment has been getting downvoted. But at GSG Anders responded, and he said, "Fact. Keep your eyes peeled." To me, to my comments, saying that they're doing that. So there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's our news. that's the news of the week. I read some other Reddit adventures. Well, there was someone who just put out a thing of just the concept of like class perks. They made it look really. It was basically our thing. They had the
I
one.
saw that.
Yeah. But it's basically exactly what we talked about. So I wonder if he saw our shit. But I'm still glad that someone made it because that's exactly what it should look like.
I didn't like his examples.
I didn't
But I like the
mind.
look of it.
He mentioned like some weird stuff. Someone said something though that was kind of dumb that I responded to. God, this seems like there's people have been having some interesting discussions here. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, someone said, "I feel like locking perks to a certain class is just going to be inferior to making those same perks available to everyone." Which he didn't get downvoted, but I did respond to him because I thought it was kind of stupid. I said, yeah, but Scout having a perk related to the engineer's turrets doesn't make sense, but that perk should still be allowed to exist. Hence, class perks. Which got quite nicely upvoted. So I know that I'm not a villain.
Not in all arguments.
I'm not always absolved of. I'm not always absolved. I'm not always a villain. Sometimes I'm a hero. Much like I was a hero in showing how wombo jumbo this build is. Because I think it's pretty fucking overpowered. It's pretty fucking...
It's surprising considering, you know, when you did it yesterday on stream, you were pretty icy to the whole build.
I've really cooled off on it though.
Dude, chill.
Uh.
Who killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age!
The Ice Age!
Bye!